Like, I think Bruce is such a funny character. Like, his brand of like idiocy is so funny to me. Like, he's so smart about this one specific area about being a surgeon. And then everything else is sort of a mystery to him. He's so wrapped up in his own world.
Ew. I hate the two hands on your face.
I think
Oh
it's
my
Ew.
God.
good use of desk.
Yeah.
Like in terms of just having fun on set, on being around people I love and respect. And yeah, it was just a joy to come to work every day. And that does
Mhm.
not always happen. And so selfishly, I hope it goes forever and ever just because I just want to keep seeing these people.
Every now and then a moment comes along where you truly change someone's life.
It actually doesn't look too bad. Swollen, pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse.
St. Denis Medical, November 12th on NBC and Peacock.
Allison, wow, this is, here's the thing. It's hard to, and I think you are the kind of heart of this show.
Thank
I think
you.
it's hard to balance the sincerity of what your character is going through with the kind of outrageous behavior that goes on with the people you work with.
Mhm.
What was your take on this character? And because this is really nicely done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that the appeal for me of Alex is that she's sort of the calm in the storm, and is that like she is the touchstone for the audience while all of these things going on. I know as an audience member, I really appreciate having a character who's like, what's happening? And if if I'm watching a show where things seem crazy and it doesn't have that character, sometimes I'm a little lost and I lose interest. Like, I want to know that they also know that things are insane. Like, the things that are happening are weird and unacceptable and bizarre. And so it's nice to have a character who is also like, what is going on? And in this instance, we really get to connect her to the audience because I get to spike the lens. I get to draw them in and like look at them and say, do you see what I'm seeing? What is going on? So I think that that's actually like part of the appeal for me of Alex was that she was sort of the calm in all of this chaos with all these like bigger characters around her making crazy choices and doing insane things.
Well, see, but that's the thing. When I do that in real life, people think I'm crazy. When I just talk to random people, so I'm really having bad day. I love that, but I love that though. I love the ridiculousness of all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we are in a crazy time, and it is nice to just laugh, even especially. This is a serious show. There's a lot of serious things that do happen in it, but through the lens of comedy.
Yeah, it's also a show that has like not a mean bone in its body. There's so much heart in it. There's not a lot of snark to it. Like, it's funny, but it's also just really sweet and lovely. And I think that that's going to be a salve for viewers right now. I think that we need that. I think that a comedy that gives us a place to sort of like rest and be held for half an hour once a week is something that we could really use. I think that this is going to be hopefully a place for people, like a good port in the storm.
Yeah. What was it like about Justin and Eric? Seem like such nice guys, and they seem to just generate kind of decency. What was it? Has your experience been like with them?
Yeah, I mean, they're wonderful. I think that obviously they've been doing this for a while. They've been together for a while. They've done this before. They know what makes a good show, and they know what makes a happy set. Our crew, most of our crew has been together for their other shows. They've been together since Superstore. It's a very, very happy set and a really happy group of people. And all of that comes from up top. That comes from Eric as our showrunner, Justin as his co-creator, Meg, our line producer. Like, the people at the top of the line are the people who really make the working experience of a show what it is, and make going to work a joy, And Eric and Justin really know how to do that. They really know how to make the set a place where you want to be.
I want to ask this because I'm curious. As again, I think you're the heart of the show. Is there a character that you're like, oh my God, I'm jealous. I want to be the crazy one and do this?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, it's absolutely Bruce. Like, I think Bruce is such a funny character. Like, his brand of like idiocy is so funny to me. Like, he's so smart about this one specific area about being a surgeon. And then everything else is sort of a mystery to him. He's so wrapped up in his own world. Like I find him to be so fascinating and so watchable, and so different than any. I've never gotten to play a character like that who is like with such ego. You know what I mean? Like what fun! And I think Josh does an awesome job at it. Josh couldn't be more different from Bruce.
That's what I told him. That's what I told him.
He is, yeah, no, he's not like Bruce. But yeah, I just think that would be so fun. And I think Josh is having a good time with him.
Well, you guys both look like you're having a good time. It seems like you and Josh have great chemistry together.
Yeah, we did. Thank you. Yeah, we
Welcome.
wish we could have done more together. I think that we have a few episodes where that's our storyline together. And every time we get to bump off of each other, we have fun. But I feel that way about everyone. Anytime that Kai and I got to be together and we got to have the Serena Alex, like best friends at work dynamic, there's just so much yummy stuff there. They've written such incredible characters that are so specific, and like letting them bounce off of each other in different situations is like a dream. There's endless iterations of that will work. And it was so exciting to read each new script and see what they were going to do with it and who we were going to be with that week.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, like, I like the energy too. Is that I specifically the one with you and Bruce with the I just there's something about that, and I of course Wendy is amazing in this show. I guess my last question is where would you like to go with this character?
Oh gosh, I was thinking about that the other day. I thought, what would she do? Like, what's like, if we were going to make a big swing for Alex, would she like decide to go to medical school? Like, what would she do? I don't know. I think she's pretty attached to being a nurse, and she's kind of gone as far as she can go as a nurse. And this, she's just recently been promoted. Now she's the head of the ER. So maybe there'll be some big changes in her personal life that will make her have to lean further into that direction and away from work. Like, I don't know. I can't wait to see what they come up with. And again, with this like combination of characters, I know that it'll be like rife for hilarious hijinks no matter what they choose. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like, yeah. This is just it's a lot of fun. Like, I think what made Superstore so it's relatable. We all go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
This show, we all deal with this stuff, and it's nice to deal with a little humor.
Yeah, I think so. It's nice to sort of like go into it with a little bit of a softer touch,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
First of all, I feel like I jumped into a really interesting conversation with you two. I don't know what was going on, but I wanted to.
I was describing Mekki as a liar and a bad person, and just, I don't like him, so we were just talking about that mostly. Yeah.
I was
Gotcha.
desperately defending myself and complimenting Kai as always, and I have no idea why he would be so mean and brutal to me.
Ew! I hate the two hands on your face.
I think
Oh,
good use of desk.
Yeah.
you know what's funny? You two are kind of my favorite characters on the show because, I know. I don't tell anybody else.
I won't.
But because of this, you guys have this really funny, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, but I kind of like you type of thing. Is that like that's real? Right? Yeah, I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah. Oh my God, Mekki. Maybe our real life is coming into screen. What do you think?
I think I will say that it is, on screen, perhaps a bit more will they, won't they flirty vibes. Mm-hmm. Off screen, Allison has many times described it as a like siblings fighting vibe. And I think that's a pretty healthy description. We are ruthlessly attacking each other, but also, that's one of my best friends and I care about her very much. But also one of the worst people on the earth.
Ew. Oh. I wouldn't use the BF word, but
you can. I'm okay with that.
Oh God, I hate that word, especially associated with Mekki. Yeah. No, he's great. He's great. No, Mekki is the best. I feel it. All that aside, I feel very, very, very lucky to be working with somebody like him, who's very funny, but also a very generous performer and a person, and he's fun to be around. So it's like really easy to work with him. And I think somebody asked like what makes this show special, and I can't believe I said this, but I think it's because we're working with really, really kind, good people who are not only like extremely talented, but the whole cast is very, very kind, and the crew are just good people. And I think for comedy, that's really important. And I think that shines in our show.
Yeah, I could. I think that I got that from Superstore too. Do you think that's something Justin and Eric bring?
Probably, yeah. I mean, they're. I think, yeah. I mean, the people who are like on the top, I think it all trickles down, and when they are generous and good people, it makes the whole, cast and crew want to be that way, I think.
I totally agree. And I think on the note of the cast and crew and Justin and Superstore and all of that stuff, it's like, I think it's a really important thing. I learned it early on, and it made me so excited to work on the show and very comfortable signing on for what maybe will be like several years, who knows?
Yeah.
They work with the same crew that they worked with on Superstore and American Auto. So for many of the people that we work with every day, they've actually been working together for 12 years. And I think that even beyond the very fortunate chemistry of the actors, the chemistry of everybody on set, because they feel like a family and taken care of and looked out for by Justin and Eric, et cetera, like, it completely informs everything about it, like Kai's saying. It's comedy, you know what I mean? Like, if you're stressed out and serious, like, it's a bizarre environment to try to be funny. So that's never been the case with our set. It's really fun.
Okay, let's just, both of you, what appeals to you about your character, and what do you take with you? What is like you?
Yeah, Matt has a sort of like wide-eyed optimism about like St. Denis and like the hospital and being a nurse. And that is how I feel as like a big comedy nerd, loving The Office and Parks, like, going to the Universal lot every day. Like I genuinely feel like Matt,
Okay. What about you?
Well, I just love being so honest. I love saying what's in my mind in real life. I can't keep things in, and I feel like Serena is very much that way. She just says what she thinks. She says it how it is, and I love that about her.
Well, you guys are a blast to watch. Love talking to you. All right. First of all, like weirdly enough, I've had experience in hospitals. This may shock you. I know it's shocking, and I think I've had a doctor like you, Josh, like this character.
What? You're a lucky man.
Yeah, that's not the word I would have used, but hey, yes.
All right.
Well, I want to talk about that because I watch Superstore. I know these guys as comedy. I know, and it really works for the setting. How did you two get involved, and how much did you get to read before you took on these roles? These are great roles. I'll start with you, Josh.
Oh, you're right. You start with me, sure. Well, it came to me the way any other gig would, in that I got the sides for a self-tape to audition, and I was in Australia, and I got and I just put myself down on tape, and I didn't give it too much thought, because you put down 100 self-tapes and you miss out on 99 and a half of them, but yeah, I think because Ruben Fleischer was directing the first episode as well, in addition with Eric and Justin, I think my audition was whatever, but I have a feeling that my relationship with them, with Superstore, probably got me over the line, because they knew they knew I was reliable, I guess. I hope. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Kaliko?
I had just so happened to have done a guest spot on American Auto.
Oh.
And I heard about this pilot being, chopped. It was ready and being chopped around, and then I got same thing where I just got an invite to do a self tape for it, and you just hope for the best. But and I was jumping at the chance to work with them again, so it was on my end I was hoping that it would work out, but you just roll the dice, and you fit the part, and luckily.
Well, you guys do. You both fit the part. You're very good.
Well, I think it's a mixture of fitting the part as they've written it, and then once you're in it, then kind of mold it to you even more specifically. And that's why I think in every show, and I suspect St. Denis is no different, that the characters become more and more and more defined as each episode goes on, because the writers discover what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, and then start writing for the actor now embodying these characters. So yeah, definitely, I think by F4 or 5 that we were shooting, I was like really starting to understand, I get this guy now. It took me a little second to understand where his parameters were, but it's always going to be like that. And I think that's one of the benefits of television, perhaps over film. With film, you've got to, on day one, understand everything.
Yeah.
But I think you get a little bit more latitude with television to really discover things. Yeah.
Well, I also think, I mean, Kaliko, you said yourself you wanted to work with these guys again. Is it? I feel like there's such a nurturing environment that they create. Yeah, and that's definitely what I'm getting from the other interviews. What was your, with your character? I know people like you too. I know this woman very much so. Did you base it on anybody, or is this all you and the writers?
I always just look at the script and see what's on the page and see where this person's coming from. I saw it as such a great departure from Sandra. I mean, maybe some people think it's similar, but I was like, what an opportunity to play someone completely different. But a lot of it's on the page, just in terms of, and she doesn't say a lot, but she says a lot with what she's got.
Nothing wrong with that. That's sometimes a world of stand-up.
No, and I think what is great about that is that Val will become one of the most meme-worthy characters, because anything Val says, even though it's economical, you can put it on a t-shirt. That's what I love about Val.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm going to jump back in with you, Josh, because I think you'll take this as a compliment. You're nothing like this character in real life, I think.
Oh, look, thank you. No, I appreciate that. I guess. But I want to say something about the last point, and very, very quickly. You're talking about the nurturing relationship, the atmosphere on set. I've been, God help me, doing this gig, this game for like 35 years. I was a child actor. But honestly, this is probably my favorite job that I've ever done. Like, in terms of just having fun on set, on being around people I love and respect. And it was just a joy to come to work every day. And that does not always happen. And so selfishly, I hope it goes forever and ever, just because I just want to keep seeing these people year in, year out. It was great.
Yeah, and I think especially with that role, is like the beauty of this role is you're allowed to kind of grow and shade in these guys. And that's fantastic.
Yeah, you're right, because it's in the pilot episode, you see these characters in a pretty two-dimensional sense. I go, I got it. Bruce is the arrogant egomaniac. But then as the writers start discovering more and more, you're like, oh, okay, he's so much more. And yeah, you discover more and more. But yeah, there's not, as a comic actor, the most fun role to play is the confident idiot in a way, and in some ways that's what Bruce is. He's not an idiot in the sense of what he knows medically, but his unawareness of other social cues makes him very much an idiot, and that is such a treat to play.
Well, Jesus, you guys are a treat to talk to. This was fun. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to both of you, and good luck with the show. I hope it's on for years and years for you. Okay, you guys did something that I think that a lot of people try to do and can't do, especially with Superstore, was make something so outrageous, so relatable. And I think you're doing that here with St. Denis. Am I saying that right? St. Denis.
We say St. Denis. Yeah.
St. Denis.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How did this come to fruition, the idea of taking it to the hospital?
Well, you talking about the hospital. I do think, though, it's almost easier sometimes to find relatable moments in an environment with higher stakes, or that's less relatable or something. Doing relatable stuff in just like a data entry office or something. There's probably a show in that too, but I think The Office dealt with a lot of the mundanity and stuff. But we still, even in a hospital, even in a super center, even in any number of environments, you still have day-to-day frustrations and petty arguments and the annoyances of a boss, and those things kind of reach into so many different environments.
I would say like the hospital part, for me, I feel like doctors and nurses have this almost like superstar like a celebrity like quality to me, in the sense that they work in places where everybody who's in the hospital is having one of the most important days of their lives. Like they're forming a core memory in the moment. And meanwhile, there are people that have to go in and clock out every day. You have to be able to come in, but you also have to be able to leave at the end of the day and put it all behind you, and deal with your coworkers and have all the same frustrations that you would have in any other workplace and in any other workplace comedy, all of the same conflicts and dynamics, but set against the most interesting workplace that I could think of. And so I had enough of my own personal moments in hospitals that were so funny that it hurt to laugh, or you're really worried one second and you're cracking up the next, or whatever it was. And it had enough, watched enough caregivers affect someone's experience so much just by what their attitude was like that day or how they treated you. And so it seemed like something worth exploring. And the more I would talk to people who worked in the industry, the more fascinating and complicated it got. And when Justin and I started talking about ideas for the show, they really just started to flow, and it just became very obvious that it was a good direction to head in.
No, I agree. Well, specifically, there's one one of the episodes features, Allison gets out. She's always trying to do her job and be true to her job, yet the family sometimes, that's a true thing that happens for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And how do you cater to each actor, because they do seem perfectly cast. You guys got that right on the nose. How did you find them, and how much have they kind of brought in from as writers? How much are you taking from them?
Well, I would say that casting the pilot was the most stressful part for me of the entire process of making this show. And I think the reason was that it felt high stakes. It felt like we had really worked on and fallen in love with these characters. And it's a very delicate thing to find the person that either like perfectly matches what you were going for, or someone who's doing something totally different, but it's so interesting that you want to actually shift the character in that direction. So we were really searching. We watched, hundreds, if not thousands of tapes, and we're so lucky that we were coming in at a time when some incredible actors were around and available and responded to the script. And there were people like Allison and David Alan Grier and Wendy, who are well past the time in their career that they read for something. And so there was just a meeting or a leap of faith and going, I think this person's going to really nail it. And when we agreed upon that, we went for it, and we got lucky, to be honest. They all nailed it.
Yeah, and I think when you're writing a pilot and you're pitching it, you have characters in mind, and you try not to rely on stock characters or cliches. But inevitably, you can only sort of fully explore them so much in your minds. You have a pilot story in mind. You have a few other stories and arcs. Once you cast it, those actors, are what bring subtlety and depth and specificity to the parts. So now, when I think of the part of Alex or Joyce or any of them, it is subtly different than how I think we imagined it originally, in ways that I can't exactly even put words to, but that's what the actor brings to it. Slight different, there's tints, that kind of thing.